It's 5 o'clock and time for Wiregrass Strong. The new coronavirus epidemic is a big problem that's expected to become bigger in the weeks and months to come. For those who are infected as well as those trying to avoid infection, these are trying times. But amid all the doom and gloom, there are some positive stories, positive messages, and reasons to remain hopeful. So every afternoon at this time, your Wiregrass Radio family of stations will come together while staying apart to help you stay informed. We're going to be seeking your input. If you're a business impacted by the virus, call and let the Wiregrass know what you are doing to continue safely providing your services or goods. And if you're a parent working hard to take care of your family, we'd love to hear how you are coping. Remember, only the facts, no hearsay or rumors, and we're trying to keep things positive. Our number is 334-699-1053, or you can join us on YouTube Live, and you can chat throughout the program. This half hour is brought to you by Knight's Wrecker Service, a public service of Knight's Wrecker Service, big or small, they do it all. 899-3257 Ashford, Dothan, Headland. You can count on Dwayne, Terry, Caleb, Jerry, and the entire crew over at Knight's Wrecker Service. Let them be your knight in shining armor. Again, this half hour, a public service of Knight's Wrecker Service. Welcome to Wiregrass Strong. Joining me today is, let's see here, it's Dave Wash Your Dang Hands Gilligan. He keeps coming back, folks, keeps coming back. How you doing, Dave?
I'm great, Ricky. As a matter of fact, I was just watching different hand washing techniques on the YouTube when we dialed in the broadcast. So I've got a couple demonstrations, whenever you're ready.
So we have got new hand lacerations, dissertations, demonstrations. And tell us why, and then we're going to talk about hand sanitizer here in just a second. But Dave, tell us why the washing of the hands supersedes the use of hand sanitizer.
Well, the short story is, Ricky, soap and water kill coronavirus.
Yep.
That's it. Just wipes it out.
There you go. There you go.
I mean, that's the short story of it right there. And I tell you, I've adopted little rules of my own that I try to follow every time I get near a sink. I'm going to wash my hands.
Wash your hands.
Time, of course, proper hand washing for sanitary reasons. So whenever you're at the restroom and all, but every time I go from one place to another. So like when I leave home and I go to work, as soon as I get to work, I wash my hands. As soon as I leave work and come home, I walk through the door. First thing I do is wash my hands. So it's just being mindful, I think, and adopting a technique and kind of taking pride in your technique is kind of weird. I try to outdo myself every time I wash my hands to see if I can get just a little more thorough because it's just so hard to not touch stuff. And we don't have, piles and piles of disposable gloves, and we don't have endless supply of wipes. So, some simple techniques and simple self-challenges to keep yourself washing your hands is just the best advice I can give.
Well, it seems like a good thing to kick off a Monday with is the proper technique for washing your hands. So why don't you go ahead and break that down for us?
Okay, well, I'll try to do it for the folks watching on YouTube right now. If you want to watch, you just go to youtube.com. In the search bar, type in Wiregrass Radio, 2 words, click on the live link and watch me go, because here it is. First of all, you want to turn on the water, get a little dab of soap in your hands, and rub your hands together. That's the easy part. You start making the suds and stuff. That's right. Then just like, remember, open the door in the church and the steeple, the little rhyme and everything. You want to kind of interlock your fingers and rub those together and then switch. Switch and do it again. All right. Now here comes the fun part. Make a claw with your right hand. Scratch your palm. Scratch the top of your hand. Okay. Make a claw with your left hand. Scratch your palm. Scratch the top of your hand. Okay, now here comes the even more fun part. One more time. Lather, just like you used to do. You might have to add a little bit of water on this one. Lather.
All right.
Get those wrists Now you're
I
making
got 'em
circles
right there.
around your wrist. You're switching over, doing your wrist. Then you start with your thumb. With your right hand, you grab your thumb and you just kind of twirl it around like that. Then you move through every single finger, just twirling it around each time around, just like that. Just like switch hands. Do the same until you get all 8 fingers and 2 thumbs. Then give it a good rinse. Give it a good shake. One paper towel, dry it off, and boom, you're done. I'm telling you,
man,
brother,
oh man.
I practice. I have bet I've washed my hands 15 times today.
That is worth the price of admission right there, folks.
Well, you know, Ricky, it's the little things we do that are going to make dealing with what we're dealing with so much easier. Social distancing, of course, I think being in a community the size of Dothan has its definite advantages. The businesses around town have certainly responded to making social distancing a whole lot easier. We practice it at our work here at Wiregrass Radio. So, you know, if we take these little steps, individual steps, and practice good hygiene and good social distancing, I think we can really make it so that our awesome hospitals in the area aren't overwhelmed.
And speaking of habits, this is a habit right here I need to take care of right now.
That's right.
We took all the mic mufflers at Wiregrass Radio.
That's right.
And Dave took them home, and he used a lot of bleach and cleaner and disinfectant.
First, then bleach, and then dried it really well. And it's got dryer sheet in it, so it smells good.
And it's sealed in a little baggie with all the jocks' names on it.
That's right.
And every time we come in, we put those on, and that's our little mic muffler.
Got to do
right
our
there.
parts, man. It's you know what I'm saying.
Thank you so much, Dave.
You're welcome.
Here, I do have a question before we bring on our guest today. We do have a guest today, and
awesome.
You guys will get a bunch of information from this individual. We'll bring him on here in just a moment. But I have been hearing, I just want you to help me clear this up, or perhaps we've opened up something we need to research a little further. In the beginning of this COVID pandemic, they were talking about when you sanitize, when you use hand sanitizer, or when you make your own hand sanitizer, 70 or more, 70% alcohol or more, anything with 70. Yet every bottle of hand sanitizer I pick up is anywhere from 62 to 67% alcohol. And go. I just, here's
the thing with hand sanitizer, guys. It's not something you want to depend on. Stick with the soap and the water for the hand washing. I mean, the real good cleaning. What I recommend is you keep the hand sanitizer in the car. Okay. So, you're going to have to go get gas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to do that once a week, grocery shopping or whatever. So you keep that hand sanitizer in the car so that you can disinfect in between pumping the gas and getting back in the car. You know what I'm saying? Or once you get your buggy, of course, you make your buggy as clean as you can with the wipes they provide, but you still want to disinfect after the entire experience until you get home, and then you can wash your hands. And that's really what the hand sanitizer is best for, in my opinion.
I have
handy,
my wife supplied us with wipes and hand sanitizer.
Right.
And I have found that every time I interact, whether I go in the convenience store or I go through a drive-in and I hand them my card and they hand it back, I put it back in my wallet, and then I immediately grab some hand sanitizer. And then when I get over here to Wiregrass Radio, we have gate entry. So we have to punch the code on the gate. So you punch the code on the gate. Well, you got to wait for the gate to open. That's a great time to, get some hand sanitizer on there. And then your steering wheel gets all sticky, but you go on in. And little things, folks. You have to be mindful of the little things and keeping that 6 foot distance. You'll find that a lot of other people don't want to respect that distance. They're not taking it seriously. Sometimes,
for them, so don't
sometimes you have to give them a stern look, and they'll back off. They will.
I'll give them. Don't worry, I got them covered. I got them
because
covered.
Look, we're talking about 6 foot. 6 foot. Yeah, we're talking about 6 feet of separation at least.
Yeah.
That is the minimum.
That's the minimum.
So try to keep your distance, okay? We had some news today from Henry County. A worker at the Henry County nursing home was found to be positive with COVID-19. So Henry County now has a case, and that's my home county. So it's come home to Henry County, and it's slowly making its way around, folks. If you thought you were immune to being touched somehow in your life by someone with the virus, not so. Joe Diffie, if you're a country music fan, Joe passed away due to complications of COVID-19. And he used to hang out down at Panama City, and he'd come up here. Dave knows him well. And
I don't know him well, but I got to meet him. So
yeah. Speaking of knowing folks well, I want to bring on our guest right now, and this is a gentleman that most of you won't remember, but he is very busy in his community service throughout the Houston County and Dothan area. I've known Gary Griffin for many, many years, and I told Dave, our co-host up there, I told Dave you were going to find out an interesting fact about Gary that you didn't know. So, Gary, I'm going to go ahead and let you tell Dave, what is your and our interesting fact?
Well, I don't know what that is right now. What is that fact?
Gary,
yeah.
You used to be the engineer right here on the 8th floor of this building.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know if it was a previous conversation we had or what you were talking about, but yeah, Ricky and I worked together in the radio industry back in 2010 through 2011 before Magic Broadcasting got sold out. So Ricky has shown me a few things about radio engineering, so I've learned quite a lot from him.
I was working at I was about to say it, Dave, and Dave was about to jump on me. News 4, your hometown news leader downstairs in the engineering department of TV. And Gary was up here. Gary Griffin was up here as the chief engineer of then Magic Broadcasting.
Right.
And I used to frequently ride that elevator, and me and Gary had fixed stuff up here. And finally, Gary moved on, and I moved up to the 8th floor. And the rest, of course, is present day history. But Gary has gone on to work positions in IT. And what do you do now, Gary?
Right now, my full-time occupation is I'm a media ministry director for Cornerstone Church.
Mm-hmm.
I also serve on the board of Salvation Army, Wiregrass 211, and I'm also chair of the Houston County VOAD, which is Voluntary Organizations Active in Disaster. So, like I said, I got my hands in a lot of different places, and I really have a heart to help this community and to help those people in this community. So that's why I'm trying to get involved and use my gifts as much as I possibly can.
Well, I tell you, you're a very busy man right now. And let me just tell you that we had been reaching out to David Duke at Wiregrass 211, and David is ill, running a fever, and we're all praying for David, and he's not feeling well. And we were on the phone today, and I was trying to coax him into coming on the air. And he said, I can't. I don't feel good. I'm not feeling good. I said, well, I tell you what, David, I'm not going to bother you again. Go ahead and get your rest and heal. And but if you think of anyone, and right before we got off the phone, he goes, well, I know this guy, Gary Griffin. I went, man, I know Gary. We'll get Gary. And Gary's on the board at Wiregrass 211 and, of course, the Salvation Army and VOAD. So he is really a very busy person right now because, at the very least, Wiregrass 211 is blowing up. The phone calls over there are just – tell us a little bit about their load right now, as opposed to, let's go back 60 days. And the workload of the folks over at Wiregrass 211 and what's happening now, Gary.
Right. At 211 right now, the call volume has increased almost 200%. The call volume has doubled. Most of the phone calls, 90% of them, are a direct result of the COVID or coronavirus. Some of the main calls that they are yielding are primarily food and financial assistance due to COVID-19, how to apply for unemployment and how to sign up for food stamps. Of course, if you have symptoms, where do I get tested? What are those symptoms? How do I treat those symptoms? Where do I go for more information to address those symptoms? And of course, with the latest stimulus package that was released by the federal government, people are asking for more information about that as well. So across the spectrum, there's a wide gamut of different types of phone calls that are related to COVID-19, but the call volume has increased for 211. Fortunately, 211 operators, because everything is IP based, they're able to start working from their homes and yielding phone calls from their home offices so they can comply with the latest mandates. And so despite this mandate, they're going to be able to yield the phone calls. You can call 24/7. You can get any information that you need. Additionally, besides calling the 211, you can visit the Wiregrass 211 website, and there's links on Wiregrass resources, what's out there for the public to use. And also, if you have resources that you want to help others with, call 211 and let us share that information, because during times of disaster, collaboration is key in getting that information out there to others so that we can all share the load. That's the most important thing that we can do as a community.
Well, that is a big part of what VOAD does, right?
Right. During Hurricane Michael and some of the previous natural disasters, if you want to call that, VOAD helped organize church efforts and tried to get everybody on the same page so that we're not wasting resources, we're not duplicating efforts. And so VOAD's mission is to streamline services so that we point people and churches in the right direction of the areas that need the help the most. And so instead of every church doing their own thing, if they reach out to VOAD, if they share information to us, we can point the direction to help spread the load. So that's what our ultimate mission is. But again, that information sharing is critical, because if I don't have the information to help you, then I'm not being effective. So information sharing and making sure we have the info that we need to make critical decisions is the most important part that we can do during a disaster. Now, during this particular outbreak with the coronavirus, right now there's not a lot that VOAD is actually handling, because Alabama Department of Public Health has taken point, and we're having to listen to their guidelines and stuff. So what we're asking people to do is, if your church or organization is wanting to help in any way, I know a lot of churches have taken upon themselves to, maybe do some kind of like drive-through prayers or any kind of drive-up situations. All I ask is that if you have any event like that, just contact 211 or contact VOAD and just let us know about that. So if there's a possible traffic congestion or it might cause traffic problems, let us know so that we can let the authorities know, so that nobody's blindsided by any major buildups of traffic or anything like that.
Sure.
As far as volunteers over at 211, are you still looking for those? Call
operators have to be screened and trained. And so if you do want to volunteer, just call them and they'll walk you through the necessary steps and get you the information to volunteer. As far as VOAD is concerned, if you want to volunteer for VOAD, I'm looking for transportation drivers, folks that want to help deliver groceries to the elderly. And down the road, I can foresee the need to possibly have some points of distribution for like temporary warehouses for supplies. And so I could use manpower to help keep those inventoried, stocked, and cleaned and stuff like that. So if you have an interest in helping in any of those areas, reach out to VOAD, or you can call 211 and they'll give me the referral.
Sounds like a great job for Sam, Dave.
Yeah, Sam needs more to do. Trust me.
Yeah.
Sam's got a list almost as long as mine.
I got you.
Tell him to come on and tell him to wash his hands first.
There you go.
He lives in the Gilligan household. He knows how to wash his hands. When you were backstage, could you see us going through the hand washing routine?
I did. It's a ritual. It really is a ritual.
You should patent that, Dave.
I can't because it's too awesome to just try to sell. I got to give it away.
Dave, let's see. Yeah, there's the VOAD right there. And the phone number, Gary, if you give us the number to Houston County VOAD. 334-440-6372. One more time.
334 440-6372.
I was
All
going to
right.
say it's pretty easy to find on Facebook. Just type in Houston County VOAD right there on Facebook, and it's got
Right.
all the links and
Right.
sign up and get all the notifications. So
Yeah, and as far as like resources and organizations that are actively doing things, VOAD relies on 211's database. And so if there's any type of resources that are out there for the public, instead of VOAD creating its own separate database, we just piggyback off 211 so that we have one central repository for information. And so we're not being redundant and building a secondary set of events or anything like that. So we're using 211 as our central means of information sharing in the Wiregrass.
all right, that's good to know. That might lighten their load a little bit.
Some of the questions we've had over the course of the week here on Wiregrass Strong have been related to the stimulus. Now that they've passed it, folks really want to know how they become involved in that. And we've got that stuff on our website. And also the question was those who are independent contractors, right, Dave? They basically, they find themselves not filing conventional taxes, so they wouldn't be in that type of database. So they're going to have to file differently. But we're going to find out all that information. If we haven't already, it's available on our Facebook page. And SNAP benefits could be available to a lot of those who have been laid off. So you can feed your family. And clients can apply for assistance online at mydhr.alabama.gov, mydhr.alabama.gov. And again, as Gary said, the Wiregrass 211, you can hit their Facebook page, you can hit their website.
Wiregrass211.com. That's right.
Man, it is full of stuff. It's full of stuff.
Gary, they do a great job they do a great job at keeping the information up to date. As soon as they get information that has been authenticated and verified, they put that on the website. It's immediately made available, so it's real-time information. Also, alluding to that, one thing that we want to encourage people not to do is don't get your news information from Facebook alone, because there are so many different rumors and just miscommunication on Facebook. So when you're looking for information about the COVID response, make sure you're getting the information from Wiregrass 211, the Houston County EMA webpage, or any of the local news outlets. So just don't believe everything that you see on Facebook regarding this outbreak, because half of the time it's misinformation. It's not correct.
CDC, Alabama Department of Public Health, the ADHP is a good website, and CDC obviously is a great website. They have moment-to-moment updates there. And like you said, the crew at Wiregrass 211, you can look up there and it'll say updated this morning at 9:27. You wait an hour and go back, it's updated at 10:13. It's that quick, and they stay on top of that information. So probably the most up-to-date clearinghouse of information in the Wiregrass for the community is the Wiregrass 211.
Absolutely.
And Gary, we want to thank you and David Duke and the fine job you guys do over there, and want to thank you for your work at Houston County VOAD. And again, give us that number for VOAD one more time.
All right, it's 334-440-6372.
And again, Gary says that if you're about to do something, like maybe you want to get a drive-through prayer session going, you can't clog those thoroughfares. You can't make it a dangerous situation. Right. Clear it with an organization. Clear it with Houston County VOAD. One more time, Gary. That phone number.
334-440-6372.
All right, Gary, we want to thank you for being with us this afternoon, and pass along our well wishes to David, because I know he's not feeling good, and he's just he's running a fever. So let's all pray for him, and hope he gets better, because there's a great burden on him. He's taken on a lot over there, and he does a fine job. Everybody knows him in the community, and we know you too, Gary. Thank you so much for being here with us today, and hopefully,
appreciate the invite.
Hopefully we'll get you back. Oh, by the way, I got a broken cart machine over here. I need you to come up here and fix it.
Is it Mike Urati you got now?
Thank you, Gary. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Appreciate it. Talk to you later.
Gary.
Bye-bye.
So Gary's got a lot of information available on Facebook. Of course, if you want to, maybe not be on hold, I recommend going to wiregrass211.com to get all the info. It's pretty easy to get. There's a copy of their webpage right there. Super easy, easy to navigate menus. So I would certainly recommend it instead of maybe tying up a phone line, because there's a lot of folks that might not have internet, and phone is their only option.
That's true. Absolutely true. Anyway, what a great guest Gary was, and I'm proud that David
and somebody who's glad to be a part of the community and clearly glad to help spread the word.
And we got to get to the bottom of that hand sanitizer, 62 to 67%, because everybody's saying 70, and I'm going, man, come on, I can't find a bottle.
The original reports I remember were 60 and above.
Okay.
That's the original reports I heard. Now there were products out there that had 70 and above. Some orange stuff, I think.
Equate. There's an Equate version that has a botanical flavor, and that's the best to drink. That's so far that I know, folks. I haven't been drinking hand sanitizer, and don't you do it either.
Better. And like we've been saying all along, stick with soap and water when you can. If you're gonna go get gas or you got to run, go pick up groceries or whatever, that's when you use your hand sanitizer when you're not around that soap and water. And as soon as you get home, just wash up real good.
All right, and want to remind you this half hour brought to you as a service of Knight's Wrecker Service, big or small. They do it all, 899-3257. Ashford, Dothan, and Headland locations to get to you really fast. You can count on Dwayne, Terry, Caleb, Jerry, and the entire family at Knight's Wrecker Service. They'll be your knight in shining armor. And the reason I mention Knights is because normally at this time, they're doing the Drive at 5 on B1053. And they were so gracious to let us have this half hour to inform the public with information, just
I've
like
used
what we
them
had
a couple times
Gary.
Myself. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, so have I. They're a great guy. I mean, more than once. In fact, I called Dwayne the other day. I said, Dwayne, I think my car has the coronavirus. And he laughed. I said, I'm upside down in a ditch. He goes, I hope not. I said, no. But yeah, we've used his services for years and years, and they've been a very, very good business sponsor of ours here at Wiregrass Radio for so many years. And we thank the Knights family and Knights Wrecker over there. Tomorrow's going to be a good show. As you can see, it's me and Dave today, and what we're doing is we're just going to pare back on the last week. We had the Wiregrass Strong. We were showing numbers. We had 5 or 6 up there at any one time. So what we're doing this week is we're kind of paring back and just getting down to the brass tacks, the information you need every day as it comes out, and we'll bring it to you right here on Wiregrass Strong. Tomorrow, Mayor Mark Saliba will join us, and we'll be in here, and I believe it's me and Amy will be here, as well as Marcus Cage from 93.1 Magic 93.1 People Station. So your co-host will be in here with us tomorrow. You have the day off. I know you're going to go riding. And one day this week, Dave is going to come to us live during Wiregrass Strong from the biking trail.
We'll see.
Okay. You're going to do it on your phone, or you got that GoPro working yet?
I'll have to do it on my phone. The whole science and the numbers, like beautiful mind flying around in our head. It wasn't computing. So back to the drawing board on that, but we can certainly use my phone on that one.
Yeah. All right. Want to remind you that it's Wiregrass Strong, and it's on Wiregrass Radio on YouTube Live. Just go to YouTube and type in Wiregrass Radio. And you can also watch the Pollard and Dave Morning Show right here on B1053 tomorrow morning, bright and early at 6 a.m. They use this very same platform, and you can watch them do their live show and behind the scenes in the studio when their mouths aren't running.
Which is never.
Never, because they just keep right on. You hear more good stuff off mic than you do on mic. All right, that's going to wrap it up. Dave, thank you so much. Have yourself a great evening. We'll talk to you tomorrow, and have a great show tomorrow morning with Amy on Pollard and Dave, all right?
All right, buddy.
All right, folks. Once again, thanks to Knights Wrecker Service for letting us have this half hour. We thank you for tuning in. We're coming up on the half hour, so we're going to return you to normal programming.